Hey people, what's going on? I am the Broken Puppet, and today I'm teaching you how to draw a nice classic old school bear. Now it's a really fun one and anyone can draw this. I'll break it down really nice and easy. I'm going to do this on the iPad Pro in Procreate, but you can do this on paper with pens, markers, pencils, whatever you guys want to use. You just copy what I'm doing here on there. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be Procreate. I'm going to use 5 different layers. I'm going to use sketching, refining, colour, shading, line work. I'm going to start off with sketching, so the basic sketch. Refine the detail on the refining, and then we do line work, shading, colour, so it sits right with the layers. It basically means so like, you know, certain ones sit on top the way they should do. So I'm going to start off with sketching. I'm going to go on here, on the sketching, I'm going to use technical pencil, and I'm going to use dark red. Now you see this line down the centre? If you click up here, you've got drawing guide. Just select that, click here, and put symmetry on. It basically means you can draw both sides at the same time. It just speeds up everything. If you did it on paper, it just means you've got to draw both sides. So I'm going to start off with clicking on this and clicking Drawing Assist, so it does that. Drawing Assist basically means it allows that to use the symmetry tool. So you can draw a nice oval like this, just really roughly. Don't sort of focus on detail. You know, we're just being really sketchy with this. I'm going to bring a curve coming off the side, quite wide. From the centre, I'm going to bring a little line just coming down from that initial oval shape we've done, and curve out like this. Now this is going to be the basic build up for the nose and the top part of the mouth. So inside this little oval, I'm going to do a little circle just here. And we're basically going to curve to it, you just curve around it and come back like this. And boom, we have a nose. Really simple, effective way of doing it. Now I'm going to bring a curved line, come down like this. Not too curved, you're only getting too thin at the bottom, you still want it quite wide because it's going to be the bottom part of the mouth. And you want quite a bit of length to it, you know, it's quite, you know, he's going to be like roaring like, you know, so you want a nice big mouth. On the sides here, 2 curved triangular shapes just to bring in the fangs. And just I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And just a little line there just to kind of connect up the fangs. I might bring those fangs in a touch bit closer. Yeah, there we go, like that. Now the bottom, you can do it the same way, but I like to have them facing out a touch. So I'm going to bring this out a bit wider like this. And the teeth are going to sit here this way. So they're almost kind of upside down because of the way the mouth is extended. The centre part, just going to bring this curve across like this. A little loop at the bottom, so you have this shape. It's going to be the basic part at the bottom of the tongue. I'm just going to curve out, just make a nice kind of curvy line, comes at the top. On the side here, you can have a line curving out, make it wiggly, and just put a few kind of random lines on the side here, just to create a little bit of like inside mouth detail. Now you don't have to be too detailed, but a few little lines will kind of make it old school and just seem really interesting rather than just blacking it out. Now blackout is an option, but I just prefer it. Now the reason why I make this mouth bit shorter here is because, you know, I'm not really a fan of things falling in the exact same lines. I like everything to kind of sit in its own line. I just think it looks better. If things are in the same lines, it just doesn't quite look right to me. So I'm going to come up here now and I'm going to do a circle on either side just here for the eyes. Again, I'm going to do it a little bit wider so it doesn't match up with the line of the mouth. And just around it, I'm going to draw this kind of saucy shape, like so, around the top. And this curve just underneath it, just there. So you've got the top part of the eyebrow, and just a little bit underneath the eye. Now from here, I'm just going to go 1 circle, 2 circle shape, and then a third one coming like this. Kind of like as if it was sort of cut underneath the chin. And then underneath the chin here, we're going to have this one. It's going to come to a bit of a point, just like this. And now you can have the face shape kind of like this if you want, but another good thing you can do is just add one more that kind of curves underneath like this. And again, like I said, make sure each one is kind of got a different bit of a width to it. So you see here, you've got line, 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 nothing kind of sits in the same bit. I just think it's really important, it really kind of just helps the design. Let's bring that side a bit wider. Now I'm going to come here, going to curve this up above the eyes now. And when you get to that centre, you just want to create a little dip just here. Just a little dip. Nothing too crazy, just like that. And then coming off of that dip, curving outwards, we're going to create these 2 curve shapes, just curving around like so. So you want to make sure you get this little dip here before you start curving. And that will give you the basis for the ear. A little secondary line just curving on that top, so you've got a little fold just there as well. Should I make it go wider actually? Yeah, I'm going to make this one a bit shorter, so I'm going to shrink this and make this bottom one go the wide one. Yeah, I prefer that. That looks better. Now I'm going to come here, going to curve this up above the eye, This is why we sketch at this stage, because this is where you can kind of really correct everything. You're not worrying about detail at this stage. You're kind of just building up all your shapes, everything's right. So this is a really good point. We can kind of correct stuff and just kind of do that. So you see, we've already got this really nice kind of build up for the bear face now. You know, all the shapes really kind of coming together. So now we've got to this stage. I'm just going to turn this down a touch. Go on to my refining. I'm going to come in, I'm going to do like little bits of detail now. Now most of it's going to generally be the same. You know, just a few little bits. I'm going to do like where you have these lines here. I want this to be a line. I want this to be, yeah, I'm going to have a line coming here. And what I might do, I'm going to bring in, oh, bear me 2 seconds. Click on here, click on refine, draw and assist. Basically, whatever you have set here on your drawing guide, if you click draw and assist, it'll make it use it on that layer. I'm going to bring these little curved lines, just coming here around the eyebrow. This bit here, I'm going to have these curved lines just curving along across that line we've done there. Same on this one, just here. Now these ones can be line flicks, and this bottom one I'm going to have, you know, sort of lines kind of connecting up, curving around. You know, so I'm going to have different kind of textures with this. You know, I want, you know, somewhere it's going to be just literally just like line flicks, other ones where it's going to be straight lines like this, and other ones where it's going to be these kind of loops like this to kind of match up. So yeah, so that's pretty much all the refining. I don't want to do too much refining because everything I quite like how it sort of sits. You know, I might have a little bit of vertex just inside the ear bit there, but that's pretty much it. I quite like how this looks. So when it comes to lining now, I'm going to select black. To begin with, actually I'm just going to use mostly, I'm going to go inking, technical pen. That'll be a little bit bigger. There we go, yeah, I quite like that. So I'm going to click on it again, just click draw and assist. And now we can start doing detail. Now you zoom in, it's always handy, you can see it nice and close. So now I'm just going to go over everything we've pretty much done and just make it nice and neat. Remember, if you draw and hold, yeah, correct it and turn it into like a perfect nice curve. And that's a very handy feature with Procreate. I don't recommend overusing it, you know, but it's a very handy thing if you want to get like a nice perfectly symmetric area, you know, a perfect kind of line. It's a very nice little tool to use. But I think getting in the habit of sort of drawing your own kind of sort of straight lines is a very good thing to do. Yeah, just going over pretty much everything we've just done. You know, and this is going to be like old school, so I generally want to try and keep everything roughly about the same kind of width. You know, if you sort of struggle doing that, I recommend maybe using calligraphy pen. You go on here, you've got monoline. And what this will do, it just gives the exact same width the whole way around, so you ain't got to worry about that. So I'm going to go back to the technical pen. But I prefer the technical pen because it just kind of gives a bit more freedom. You know, I use both of them, depending on the project. But the one I generally probably use more is technical pen. And they're both unedited, they're just exactly the preset way they came. So if you use yours on Procreate, it'll be the exact same as mine is. There'll be no difference. So then in those couple of random lines inside the mouth, just give a little bit of detail just there. So then we've got that. Gonna get some eye in here. Like I said, if you draw it around, hold it, you kind of correct it, make it a nice kind of shape. And it's a bit too oval, it looks a bit shot. Don't want that, I want him to look a bit more straight. There we go, like that. So I curve around here. It's going to make a nice little bit of a drip, you know, on that part. So it's just be like a perfect kind of curve. Same way there. And now on these bits here, these kind of lines we've done here, what I'm going to do is click and flick. Click, hold, flick. So you get this nice little line effect on the outside of it. Try to keep them about the same kind of length and about the same distance apart. You know, if the distance between them gets too uneven, it doesn't quite achieve the same effect. So just be careful how you do it. If done on paper, it's the same technique, you just basically flick your pen. Do the same thing up here, so I'm just going to flick these across. Just coming down like so. This one here, I'm going to bring this line up like this. I don't know why, but I always like doing this circle line here, you know, it's a straight line. I just think it looks really nice. Generally see that probably most of the bears I generally do. It's like a little, I don't know, it's put out on my little cinch ways of doing it without even realising. I didn't really think about it until just now. So bring those lines for that part there underneath the mouth, that jaw part. And again, we're going to flick these lines in, make these ones a bit longer, once you get a technique, you can kind of sort of speed it up and kind of get that nice motion going. And it's very satisfying to do once you get the hang of it. So come back down here, I'm going to flick. Every now and again, just make a little line at the bottom, flick. You know, these ones you want kind of connecting. So like we said, like, you know, getting like 3 different kind of sort of textures for the fur. Bring that to the top there. And then I'm going to come around here, so let's go. There we go. Don't worry about doing everything in one line like I'm doing, you know, because this is experience. You know, I know it's not as easy when you sort of like first starting out, you know, but don't worry, this kind of hand motion and these kind of sort of techniques will become very easy in time, you know, it just takes practice, practice, practice. So you see here, we've got all this basic line work done now, so I'm going to go here, I'm going to turn off those sketching layers. So now we're just left with that really nice, big, bold outline, you know, which is what we want. So I'm going to click on this, click up here, and I'm going to click this button here, reference. So basically now, when I do a selection tool up here, on automatic, anywhere I select, it's going to select within that outline, regardless of what layer I'm on. So now the line work's done, let's go on to the shading. So I'm going to click on here, I'm going to shading, click on it, make sure drawing assist on as well. I'm going to start with selecting these two little bits. Like, I'm going to go down there, I'm going to use spray paint tool, medium nozzle. I really like using this for the old school stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw from outside the area that I've selected and curve around, just coming in. So you get this really nice gradient, especially with the spray paint tool, you get this really nice kind of grainy texture that just looks really good when doing old school stuff. Oops. So let's again just shrink this down, a little bit of black just in the nostrils, just like that. I'm going to go on the nose, and the way I generally usually do my nose, just to show you, I'm going to curve up the top, curve around, a little bit of bottom. So I'm leaving this little highlight just kind of around the nostril area. So I'm going to select the area around, oops, select the area now around the eyes. A bit of black just there, a little bit of black just come off the edge. It just kind of helps bring the eye detail out, just like so. Come here now, it's a little bit above the gum. Just a little shadow across the top, nothing too crazy. And again, I'm just using that same sort of technique where I kind of sort of draw it outside the box, so I get that nice kind of smooth gradient. A little bit here just behind the teeth. You know, it just really kind of helps bring it out. And just here, select a little bit just behind the tongue. Now, if you're doing it on paper, you haven't got to worry about selecting. You literally just draw in the areas. It's a lot more simple. When you're doing it digitally, it just helps to select the areas to avoid like smudgy areas and stuff like that. So once we've got that bit done there, I'm going to select his gum. So I want his gum to be black, so I'm going to go black from the top, leave a little gap, bit of shadow, and then leave a little gap just at the bottom, so you've got this nice highlight just here and just here. Select this bottom area now. I'm just going to go across this chin part, just black across the bottom, just like that. I'm going to do the same thing on each one of these sort of texture areas we just done. So I'm going to start off with here, so I'm going to zoom in. So a little bit smaller to begin with. Just going to bring a little bit of black just there. Increase the size a touch. Just fade back off of that. The second one here, I'm going to use freehand, so I'm going to go selection tool, freehand. I'm going to come down here, all the way around. I'm going to select this area just here. I'm going to do the same on this side now as well. So basically I want to shade up to the line just here, and not worry about going over the edge. So now we've got that selected, you can see when I sort of around this edge, and I'm going to shade directly on that line. So you get this really lovely kind of curved texture off of it, just like that. I'm going back to automatic, so automatic just selects everything, which is really handy. I'm going to go up here, and again, like we've done on this fur bit here, I'm going to do a little black line just to begin with. It just kind of gives you a base to work off of. Increase the size a touch, just curve off of that. A little bit there. And now I'm just going to cross this bottom, just a little bit of black. just there, and on the head, I'm going to come down from the centre, going right to that top line, curving into the ear bits just there. I'm just going to raise a little bit inside the ear, I don't want it inside the ear. And that's pretty much it for the black and grey shading, I think. You know, I would normally sort of shade this area around here on these, but I quite like how this looks. What I might do actually, though, I might put a little bit just inside this part of the ear, just here on that curve. Yeah, I like that. That'll do that bit for me, I think. And just one last bit of shade just down the inside part of the gum. So I really like that for the black and grey shade, and I think that looks really nice. I'm going to go to colour now. So I'm going to start off with the same area we started with shading. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to select this blue from my old school set. That's really nice darkish kind of blue. And just kind of faintly use it once I click on drawing assist, so I'm doing both sides. Let's just go back because I drew that first little bit without it. Here we go. A little bit of faint blue just there. Gonna select the eyes now. Well, the bits underneath the eyes. A bit of blue just underneath the eyes. And a bit of blue from the bottom. And similar on the top of here, so I'm just going to go around the edge of that eyeball and just across the top a touch. Nothing too crazy. And then just a little bit here, just on the corner of the ears. That's all the blue. I'm not going to do anything else in blue, just those bits. Going to go red now. Going to bold that tongue in red. Just a really nice bold solid red. And I'm going to use like a lilac-y kind of colour for this part, I think. Yeah, I like that. And then we've got the brown and the yellow in the eyes to go. So I'm going to start off with this. I might have two shades of brown. I think I'm going to go for this kind of sort of like tone here, and then I might do like a little bit of light brown in the background. But I see, sometimes it looks nice to do like a little white highlight. You see what I'm doing here? I'm leaving this kind of white edge. Sometimes in old school it looks really nice to leave that little space. I'm not too sure yet if I am going to leave that space or not. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the other layer in and I'll see how it looks. And whichever way I prefer it, it'll be the way I generally do it. That's one handy thing with digital compared to traditional. That's you can try things out and easily go back a step and you ain't got to worry about it. As we obviously when you do on paper, there's no really going back. You can sort of try and rub things out, but it's a bit of a mess trying to do that. So you've got this dark brown, and I'm really sure that I'm going to use like a light brown here, I think. So I'm going to create another layer underneath just to make this easier to select. I'm going to select all this part here, and let's see how this looks. So I'm going to put this light background in that space, and yeah, I really like that. I thought that was going to be good. And now I'm going to go for this really nice strong yellow. Bang that in the eyes. And that's all the face done. So I'm just going to turn the drawing guide off. At this stage you can add stuff to the background if you wanted to. You could add like flowers, roses, extended bits, different details. Now the one thing that I might do here is just a little bit of red in the background, just behind the ears, maybe a little bit at the bottom. Just because I've got rid of the tongue, I like to carry the colour of hue, through the design a little bit. And I think that looks really nice. So that's how you do it, people. That is how you draw an old school bear. I hope you like it. If you do draw this, make sure you tag me on social media. I love seeing what you guys draw. I usually like and comment on them, because I love seeing them so much. But yeah, people, I'm the Broken Puppet. That's how you draw that one. Check out my videos, and I'll see you next time. Peace, people.